Kwame Man from Chicagoland. And today, we're talking about a guy named Bishop. Bishop from Juice, you may ask? Bishop! Nah. We're talking about Bishop Lamor Miller Whitehead. See, at first, Bishop was all...
Y'all, we back. Bishop Whitehead. Y'all see Whitehead Estates. Listen, I'm telling y'all, join my real estate class. It's starting February the 5th. I'm going to show you how to buy and flip, how to buy complexes, apartment complexes, renovating, and first and foremost, understand that God did it, not me.
And then Bishop was all...
I will not lose.
But then Bishop was all...
Don't get mad. 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 Don't get mad.
But yeah, not to make light of this involuntary reverse tithing situation, because I'm sure it was traumatic for the unsuspecting people who had to experience that. But I do want to examine some certain things about this whole situation. For those who may not have seen what went down on Sunday, here it is. I'm sure a lot of people, just like myself, were wondering why the guy in the corner, in the chair over there, the deacon boy, I don't know if he's a deacon. I don't know what the church hierarchy terms go like, so maybe y'all can correct me in the comments and stuff. I don't know what type of title that person would have, the person who was sitting in that chair, but he was obviously in on it. Now you have Bishop Lamor Miller Whitehead talking about the criminals turning themselves in, or he's really urging that they turn themselves in. I mean, whatever. But I wonder how much he is suspecting that guy, because he didn't mention it at all on the news. But let's hear what he has to say.
I seen 3 to 4 men come in. I said, all right. It's pretty much stating that I'm not going to do anything, right? Because I know y'all coming for me. Y'all coming straight to me. I don't want my parishioners hurt, right? I got women and children there. As I got down, one went to my wife and took all her jewelry. And and had the gun in front of my 8-month-old baby's face. Took off my bishop's ring, my wedding band, and took off my bishop's chain, and then I had chains underneath my robe. He started tapping my neck to see if anything else. So that means they knew. They watched and they knew that I have other jury. They had the guns on my deacons that was at the door. My church is traumatized. The women and children are still crying. These men, they need to turn themselves in. I forgive you, and I'm praying for you. You know, and I hope that God deliver you from the mindset of who you are at this time. But the media called me the Bling Bling Bishop. They had my Rolls Royce car all over everywhere, and I feel that played the part in this. I think all pastors should be able to get permits for pistols.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Mayor Adams said, quote, "No one in this city should be the victim of an armed robbery, let alone our faith leaders and congregants worshiping in a house of God. The NYPD is investigating this crime and will work tirelessly to bring the criminals involved to justice."
So yeah, you didn't hear him make any mention of, Deacon Boy or it being an inside job or anything like that. So for all we know, Bishop Whitehead is, he don't know that Buddy was in on it, but I am 100% sure that Buddy was in on it, unless, maybe Buddy got like some type of issue, like some type of special needs type of issue where he might be on the spectrum and he just don't respond to certain things. Like he can't appreciate the severity or the danger of certain things like a normal person. Maybe he autistic, right? Maybe Buddy Deacon Boy is autistic, so he don't appreciate danger like you or I would. That's the only way I am gonna give him the benefit of the doubt of not being an inside man in this particular situation. The only way. I would imagine that the police are going to press him and interrogate him. So if he is indeed autistic, then, they'll find out pretty damn soon. Like, yo, this kid doesn't know what the fuck we're asking him. If you aren't autistic, man, I'm not trying to offend you, but you was in on that shit. That's for sure, motherfucker. If you ain't autistic, you was in on that shit. Now, we saw the bishop at the end of his, appearance in the news pretty much make the call for pastors to be able to arm themselves, to protect themselves, which is very reasonable in my opinion. I mean, I believe everybody should be able to protect themselves. Believe it's your God-given right, or it's your birthright, or, however you want to frame it or phrase it. Just by virtue of your very existence, you have the right to protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? I believe that. So I believe everybody in New York should be able to protect themselves. Now, does the mayor of New York agree? Obviously not. And I find it very interesting that the mayor's quote, doesn't mirror Bishop's sentiments of being able to arm himself and protect himself. The mayor, as usual, hit us with the platitudes. We will stop at nothing to bring these criminals to justice, stuff like that. But I have seen people, all throughout Twitter and some, content creators on YouTube as well, kind of justifying the robbery here, trying to justify it, or, making a comparison of this bishop being a thief of the community to them thieving or robbing him and his church. So before I really get into that comparison, I do want to examine the top 10 commandments, or excuse me, the 10 commandments, excuse me. I'm not a Bible reader, man, so y'all gotta excuse me. I'm not really familiar with the Bible like that at all. Wasn't raised on it, but from time to time I come across some quotes and stuff from the Bible. I'll be like, yo, man, that I felt that, you know what I'm saying? God was spitting there, boy. He was spitting hotness. So, we are familiar with the thou shalt not steal commandment. It's the 10th commandment. I just found that out, you know what I'm saying, today. I thought that might have been like number 5 or something, but that's the 10th. But we are familiar with that, right? But what commandments might the preacher be in violation of, right? You know what I'm saying? Now you shall have no other gods before me. I guess one could argue that materialism, money, wealth, the chains, the gaudy suits, the Louis Vuitton printed blazers, or the Fendi printed blazers, all of the stuff that we see Bishop rocking on the internet. Was that his God? Was that the God that he chose to exalt? Exalt before the God that he claims to be a follower of or a believer in? Hey, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking questions. That's it. You know what I'm saying? And there's another one here that kind of stands out to me. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Now, could one argue that that's what the bishop was doing? And using the Bible and using the word, using scriptures in his services and his sermons. By doing that, he was doing that with the intention of making money, not doing that with the intention of salvation for fallen humanity or any of that. He was doing that with the intention of enriching his own pocket, not enriching the souls of the misguided. So could one make that argument? And if he was indeed doing that, would that be a violation of this commandment? Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Because was he not using the Lord's name in vain? Or was he not using the Lord's name to help him amass more wealth that he was then able to use for vanity purposes? We see what is clearly a case of vanity and how he carries himself on the internet. So those are the competing sins at play. Do they cancel each other out or not? I don't know. I'm not trying to justify the robbery in that particular case, but you do have a lot of people trying to justify it by calling Bishop Whitehead a thief himself, which I don't agree with, Now, if you want to justify it, maybe saying that he was a sinner himself and this was God's way of punishing him for the sin that he was engaged in, then, maybe, for you to compare a bishop to actual robbers, or for you to compare a bishop and how he has attained his wealth through the church, as hypocritical as you might believe it to be, it's just not consistent. It's not congruent with robbing somebody at gunpoint. It just isn't. No matter how ill you feel about churches or Christianity or organized religion, it will never be the same. The involuntary nature of robbery is what makes the two things just completely incomparable. You can't compare the two. You can't compare a preacher who gets his money from tithes, even if he did, finesse, with some scriptures. Well, he threatens his congregation with the prospect of damnation eternally. I mean, you could make that argument, but it's up to them to really subscribe to that line of thinking to still part ways with the money. Somebody putting the idea of hell being your future in your head ain't the same as somebody putting a gun to your head and saying, give me all your lunch money, or give me the $1 million you have in jewelry. Like Jesus, you see how many crosses this dude had around his neck? You know what I'm saying? You see how many chains he had? Y'all let me know what y'all think. You know what I'm saying? Are the two comparable? Is what Bishop Lamor Whitehead is doing at the church similar to what happened to him on Sunday? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Till next time, man. Be safe. Protect yourself. Keep your head on the swivel. You know what I'm saying? Stay packing, man, because cats be jacking, man. Peace and love. Kwame, man, from Chicagoland.